Oh, hi there! Welcome to Panda's Kitchen. Today we are going to make Dan Dan noodles. Dan Dan noodles is a Chinese noodle dish that is spicy, savory, little sour, a little sweet, kind of hits all the notes, and it's a very popular noodle dish in China. I love noodles and I've always wanted to make this at home, so let's just get right into it. So you can think of Dan Dan noodles in 4 steps. The sauce, the nudes, the meat mixture, and any additional toppings. First, we're just going to be prepping all of our vegetables. 2 cloves of garlic. We're just going to finely mince this, so cut off the ends here, give them a smack, and take off them skins.
And remember the compost, kids.
You can definitely use a garlic press here too. Just gonna try to keep everything on the cutting board today. Go over it again using a seesaw motion. And then we have about 1/2 inch piece of ginger. So we're just gonna peel this really quick. And I like to use a spoon. And I go directly over my bag here. Flip the spoon upside down and just scrape off the skin. Ginger's been peeled, so same thing, we're gonna finally mince this. The garlic and ginger will be cooked at the same time, so you can just put them together. So those are all the vegetables for the meat mix. Now we have a bundle of baby bok choy that will go on top. So I'm just gonna cut off the bottom here, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna cook the leaves whole. Dirt tends to get trapped in kind of the middle of these leaves, so make sure you wash this all really well after you cut them. And then we have 1 stick of green onion. Cut off the end here, and we're just gonna go thin slices. Green onions into another bowl just to make some room. This will go at the very end anyways. And then we have our first specialty ingredient, spicy mustard root. And this is very typical in Dan Dan noodles. So I found this online. You don't need to refrigerate these, and it's a perfect amount that we're going to be using today, so we're just gonna use this whole thing. It's a little sour and a little spicy, and it provides a nice crunch to this dish. A link to Amazon will be in the description below. Just cut these up into small bits, doesn't need to be super tiny. And if you have a white cutting board, I recommend not using that, just because this will stain a little bit. Not nearly as bad as kimchi, but just wanna give you a heads up. But this stuff is so tasty, so I just recommend getting it. That's it for chopping. Let's move on to the next step. Dan Dan noodles typically uses ground pork. Obviously, if we're going to try to keep this plant-based, we can't do that. A good substitute would be Impossible meat. I'm just going to try to switch it up today because I feel like I use Impossible meat a lot and it's not exactly the best for you. So we'll try to keep it a little lighter, and we'll use tofu instead and kind of make like a crumble out of it. And make sure you use firm here. We're only going to use half of it today. And then we're just going to mash this into tiny bits. So I just have a potato masher here, but you can easily use a fork or something. Holy nuts, this thing is firm. And we can always break it up more in the pan too, so don't need to get super crazy right now. And the last bit of prep that we're going to do, a teaspoon worth of Szechuan peppercorns. We do need to crush these, so just dump them in the mortar and pestle and crush them up. This is a must. You can't really make this recipe without it. This is like a very different sort of sensation. It numbs your tongue a little bit. It's the weirdest thing, but honestly I think it's kind of fun. All right, we'll set those off to the side. Let's get ready to cook. Frying pan on high heat. This has been preheating for about 4 minutes. You want to get this ripping hot as possible. We'll just do a splash of oil, and then we'll go in with our tofu. It's gonna splatter a little bit just because of the moisture in the tofu, but don't get too scared. Mash it up even finer in the pan. Go in with a couple pinches of salt, and then go in with your Szechuan peppercorn. Instantly you can smell that difference. I have a tablespoon of vegan oyster sauce. Give that a good mix. And then a tablespoon of shaoxing cooking wine. And then finally, the spicy mustard root. And we mix. The tofu mixture is done, and that's enough for 4 servings, and we're not going to be using all of it today, so you can store the rest for later. For now, we're going to get the water boiling for our noodles. So I have 2 tablespoons of tahini. It tastes pretty similar to peanut butter, just not as sweet. You can use peanut butter in the pinch. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Keep in mind this is enough sauce for 2 servings, so adjust this accordingly. A tablespoon of rice vinegar, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, and the most important ingredient, we have chili oil. This is homemade chili oil. I'll leave a link in the description for my recipe, but you can use store-bought chili oil as well. Just make sure it's a decent quality, and the amount in this is definitely adjustable towards your spice tolerance. I suggest using at least 2 tablespoons, but I'm gonna go 3, maybe even 4. Give that a good mix with some chopsticks. Make sure the tahini and sugar dissolve well in here. Now we got the base of the sauce made, we can go in with our noodles. Cook the noodles per the package instructions. I'm using 2 servings of dried ramen today, and this is a good quality ramen. You can use fresh Chinese egg noodles, is probably your best bet. Or you can use that trick that I showed you in the peanut noodle recipe and use spaghetti cooked in a little bit of baking soda. Now that the noodles are cooking, we're actually gonna grab a ladle full of water that it's cooking in, and we're going to thin out the sauce in here because it's a little too thick right now, and this will also help the noodles bind to the sauce after we put them in. All right, just give this a taste. Ooh, that's really good. That doesn't need anything more. Pretty spicy though. Oh yeah. We'll just wait for the noodles to be done. In the last minute of the noodle cooking time, throw your bok choy in and blanch it for a minute. So we'll just drain and rinse them and set the bok choy off onto a different plate. Into our sauce. Those are beautiful noodles. Just straight in. Then we'll go in with our bok choy on top. I've eaten this 2 times in the last 4 days, so you can tell I really like this. A good portion of our tofu mixture. A little bit of green onion on top. And this part's a little optional, not really traditional, but I kind of feeling it. A little sprinkle black sesame seed. And then of course, add a little bit more chili oil on top. And there we go, Dan Dan noodles. This looks really good.
It looks amazing.
You kind of serve it like this, and then we'll just mix it all together. Kind of lift up the noodle. Oh yeah. Use the spoon too. Look how creamy that is. The trick with these is kind of lift them up kind of tall here, so you can get everything all incorporated. Put a piece of bok choy in on top.
Moving up. Is it good?
This is the 3rd time I've had it this week, but it still blows my mind. What do you think? Was there something in my teeth?
You gotta know there's like a big green thing and a big black thing.
Oh God. So what do you think?
Really good.
How do you describe the flavor?
Spicy.
Yup. Honestly, I think it's well-rounded because it kind of hits spicy, hits savory. It's got a little bit of sourness from the mustard root in here, and a little sweet too. It kind of hits everything, and it's really good. There's a reason why these noodles are so famous. You can make them 1,000 different ways, and honestly, not that hard to make either. I do think it's important that you do have some sort of leafy green on top to kind of help bring some freshness into all this savoriness. If you can't tell, I really like noodles. Any way I could make a noodle video or noodle recipe, I'm gonna be a happy panda. I hope you enjoy these as much as I do. I think you should really give them a shot. You do need to buy a couple of non-standard ingredients, but these are pantry items, so they last forever. So you don't need to worry about them going bad. Oh, and you'll get to experience Szechuan peppercorns because it's an experience unlike any other.
It is.
So that's it.
That's it, folks.
Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know what your favorite noodle dish is. Comment that below. I love noodles and I want to try every sort of noodle dish possible. So if you have something awesome that I haven't tried before, please let me know. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.